This is episode 225 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Mo Hashem. Mo is the visionary of Flat Fee Landlord. He helps working professionals go from owning one primary residence into profitable real estate investments. He's worked across the real estate industry in investing, property management, managing and buying multifamily, selling homes, and training real estate professionals. Mo, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me, Jonathan. I'm excited to be on.
Yeah, I love talking to people who have a long history, but you actually didn't get started until you got a little bit older. What led to you getting into real estate, and when do you remember kind of first thinking it was going to be something that would play a role in your life?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I think I first got the itch for real estate in college. I remember sitting in my then girlfriend, now wife's
Yeah.
condo at one point, and we're just sitting there. It was evening. It was, I think, the first of the month. And I remember she used to live in this old raggedy house,
Mhm.
right? And it was broken up into 3 floors. I went to West Virginia University. So like, this is like, party school.
Yeah.
It's been through some parties, right? And so she's living in one of these floors with a roommate. And I remember this guy just going door to door, knocking on the door, and he came to her door, and he's just there like, hi. She's hi. She knows exactly what he's there for. She goes and grabs a check that she wrote out, hands it to him, and they're like, all right, thank you, and leaves. Right. And I remember just sitting there because I wasn't renting at the time. I was staying with my uncle.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, what the heck just happened there? Like, that was,
Right. It sounds like a drug deal.
I was like, what's going on? Obviously, the guy was there, at least to this point. I still like to think he was there to collect rent. But I remember, I was one of these guys in school where I didn't have a declared major. At that point, had no idea what I was going to do with the rest of my life, let
Yeah.
alone why I was even at school. But I remember I didn't know what that guy did at the time, like for a living. But I was like, whatever he's doing right there, that's what I want to do. I just want to go around and, collect checks from people, and that's it. Right.
Well, I
So
think you must have thought at the time that all landlord tenant transactions were as smooth as your girlfriend just walking over and handing a check, right?
yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? That taught me a different lesson, the importance of finding a great tenant.
And now with so much experience in property management, isn't it just insane at how little vetting regular landlords do on choosing tenants? Especially new landlords, they're like, oh, you look nice, I'll take you because it's the first person, you'll pay the price.
Yeah.
Sounds great. But as we've learned over the years, you have to take so much more time in choosing the tenant. So even when you're choosing a property management company, that's so important as well because you just don't want anyone, including your management team. You want to give somebody a good experience. And particularly the people that we're going to be talking about for what you do, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to have the manager type of conversation all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, what I try to preach as well is, I wish, there was more information out there when I was getting into it. But there's so many tools out there right now, that you could leverage. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the key word I always like to talk about is leverage, whether it's through background checks or whatever, but still at the end of the day, like, listen, you can give me the best lawnmower in the world. I don't want to cut my grass. I still want somebody else to cut the grass for me. And so I think that's ultimately what you need to ask yourself. If you're thinking about renting it, like let's say you bought your starter home with your spouse and now you guys are ready to level up. We want people to not think of, all right, my only option now is I got to sell this home to get the next one. I would love for you to keep that home. That's your rental. That's your nest egg that you can build in over time because now you get a great tenant in there. They're going to take care of that home for you. And they're just going to start paying your loan down and you're going to let the market appreciate. And this is just a solid investment for you to keep. And now you're a real estate investor without even knowing it. And hopefully, like I said, I don't want you to become that landlord. You hire a competent property management company that could actually be that person and you enjoy your life while in the meantime, your property is bringing you equity, just like a retirement plan would with a 401k or an IRA. Going back to, can it help you being a better landlord? For sure. I mean, I knew, when I got into investing in myself, eventually, I didn't even start investing other than my own primary residence. That wasn't my first investment. My first investment actually came in raising money with other people to
Yeah.
buy a syndication ultimately. Right. And so I was like, this doesn't make sense if I just buy them one or two at a time. I need to buy 300 at a time or 400 at a time, which is ultimately what we did. And now you got scale built in, because here's the thing with real estate, like scale is important. Uh, it's very important. And
Yeah.
so I recognize that.
Yeah, I think people just think of scale in the wrong way because, like you were saying before, with $100 a month, people start calculating, hey, let me get 14 single families, and then they have 14 single families producing 100 a month. One furnace breaks, and they don't make money on all of them for 6 years, and they hate all the tenants. So a lot of people who start with single family get to that. Well, I have 10 singles. Why wouldn't I just get a 10 unit? At least I have one roof, and everybody's in the same place, so my management gets to be easier. And that's part of, like you said, figuring out what works for you. I still don't think it's not worth it to get single families. I just think a lot of people figure out, hey, maybe that's their thing, maybe it's not. But from a management perspective, there's a lot of different ways to be more efficient. And that's a big part of property management.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, just to say, I say all that, what I just said to say, I still think single family is a very solid investment.
Yeah, I love
Love
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's in our plan to acquire more single family in the future as we go, because I believe in it so much, even more so than multifamily at this point. Um, but that's just how it is. At the end of the day, it's just, if you're getting started, what's the easiest way for you to get started?
Yeah.
Is it's not quitting your job. It's not doing all these things. Like getting one deal is not going to be enough for you to quit your job. So still stay at your job if you have one, or your business, but look at it as if, like I say this all the time, like as if you're investing into your retirement uh,
Yeah.
plan, your 401k, your IRA. You're not pulling, even if you do cash flow or get dividends from that, you can't do anything with it right now, anyways, right?
Tell us the backstory for Flat Fee Landlord, because I think it's something interesting that you created that other people will want to learn about. And it's kind of all part of your evolution in real estate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, my early days as a real estate agent and doing listing presentations to sell their home and not being able to led me to start managing homes, right? And, the first thing somebody is like, yeah, okay, you can manage my home. All right.
What do
What
I
do I,
do?
yeah, what do I,
How do I get money?
how do I get money? What do I charge?
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's pretty simple. Back in the day, like real estate, you charge 6%, right?
Yeah.
And property management, even back then, even now, I think to this point, it's gotten a little bit more popular. But back then, like single family long term management was not really that popular,
Yeah.
right? And you had your short term rentals and you had your vacation rentals, but like leasing out your home for 12-month lease, like it just wasn't really that popular. So again, went back, did my research, and I noticed a lot of companies were charging a percentage on their home. And, being new, not having any experience, you always want to find a differentiator that's going to set you apart, right? If you got nothing else, find something that's going to make you different.
Yeah.
And so early on, I thought that would be price. And, for me, the whole thought of it was, let's make this fair. Let's make this fair for people that want to use our services. And, in Northern Virginia, just like any major metropolitan area, you got your good areas and you got your bad areas. And the closer you get to your good areas, the rent obviously is going to go up because it's a more desirable area, right?
Yeah.
Just like the value of the home is going to be. But if I were to pick that home up and just move it out to like the outskirts of that area, maybe like 20 miles outside, it's the same house, probably still part of the same metro area. But now the rent's going to go down just because it's not as close to that city center or, more desirable place. Does that make it any harder for me to manage?
Exactly. Right.
Right?
Your duties are the same, really, even on bedroom count. There's not really, why would the management cost more just because there's more bedrooms? There's more bathrooms, but I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to break.
Exactly. Same house, just somewhere else, right? And honestly, if I'm still in a major metro area, which we are, we only operate in major metro areas, we have access to the same vendors as well. And so to us to manage it, it doesn't matter if you're close, far, wherever. If it's the same house, we know at this point, because of our systems and processes, what it costs us to manage a door that we bring on.
Yeah.
And so that's why we came up with that flat fee concept, is because we don't want to punish you just because your home is in a nice, desirable area. You have to pay a higher management fee because it's based off a percentage of your rent. versus that guy that's further out. So we came up with the flat fee concept of this is what it's going to be, because this is what it costs us, and we're going to be profitable so long as we charge this. And so we started offering that. And like I said, that really differentiated us in the market. Still to this day, I think some other people have started also doing that.